Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Today in the bottom right, as the blue Zerg player, the cheese master hailing all the way from Vietnam, it is of course Moo Micah. And in the top left, spawning as our red Protoss player, used to be the second best player in Taiwan. But now that Haas has taken a bit of a step back, he is the best. It's of course nice. This is a match from the DreamHack Masters Atlanta Regionals Asia. That's a lot of words. But basically what it means, it's the Asian qualifier as well as the regional kind of playoffs for the Atlanta tournament that will be played offline later in December. And if you don't have tickets for that yet and you're an American, perhaps look into that. I'm going to be there as well. So it's going to be exciting. Be sure to say hello, wave at me, or give me the middle finger. Well, actually, don't do that. Just wave hello and be nice, please, if you're going to go. I do believe we're going to see some of these players here as well. I'm pretty sure we see Nice. We'll see Moo Micah. Now, for the people that are not familiar with Moo Micah, as over the years, Haas, I think, had gotten a little bit less cheesy. You know, he took a step back from being the crazy guy all the time. You know, the class clown became serious. And then someone else in the Asian region was like, you know what? I'm going to step it up. And that person was Moo Micah, the Hydra rusher himself. Now opening up with a with a gold base that is so far away from his natural that I don't see any viable way to ever defend this against any type of Oracle threat. It is legitimately impossible, A, to get drones there, and B, to defend those drones even if you magically manage to get them. The only real thing that you could do is maybe get a Nidus and then send a queen there. I'm very curious how Moo Micah is going to try and figure this one out. He has his own little opener that he always plays. It's a pool first, fast gas, into a quick second gas that he then doesn't use for a while. For a build order that he plays every game, I always thought it was fairly poorly optimized, but he loves doing it. All right, he loves doing it. Throws down that Hydra then ASAP, builds a crap ton of links of a low worker count, and then he just goes for it. We've seen him go into these fast Nidus networks as well as this stasis force going to connect with half of his drones in the main base. This is a god-awful start here right away for Moo Micah, who, like I said, simply cannot defend anything that happens over here at his third base. This feels like a token third base, like a third base because you're supposed to have one. I'm not entirely sure about this. I am very confused as to what his plan is. Well, I know what his plan is. I'm just not quite sure how he imagines he's going to win with this plan, because this legitimately seems like a terrible idea. Anyway, let's see what Nice is doing. He's continuing his Oracle production, which I don't actually like. I think stopping after 2 or 3 Oracles against this type of quick tech is optimal. Hydras are going to be out. I guess with the low queen count, maybe you can get a couple more worker kills. Right now, Nice is just outmining his opponent despite being down a base. So I don't think Nice really sees a reason to expand momentarily. He's like, well, if you're not building drones, then I'm not building a third. However, Nice does need to understand that if Hydra production starts and a couple of Hydras show up over here at this third base, and even if it's just 5 or 6 drones start mining from this gold, like that is going to spike Moo Micah's mineral income up real high. And at that point, it becomes difficult for Nice to take a third. It's often easier to take an earlier third and then throw down a couple of batteries than it is to take a later third. Because the moment Hydras are out, you can't just take it with your Oracles anymore. Like, you're gonna need a serious ground force as well. And as he focused heavily here on air units, once they get countered, I actually think Nice is such a sick follow-up. Like, his follow-up actually looks pretty poor. This is StarCraft 2 though. This is how the game, what it was made for. You know, this is strategies. This is strategy versus strategy. So Moo Micah plays very different, and it forces people to think. I think a lot of the top players right now don't actually do a whole lot of thinking anymore, because they kind of know a lot of the pretty basic theory. You know, they look at a situation, they're like, okay, I recognize this. A little bit like how chess theory works, you know? For the first few minutes, just like in the first 10, 12, 15, 35 moves in chess, that has all been figured out, you know? And in StarCraft 2, it's fairly similar. There's a lot of theory that you need to know in order to properly play. Moo Micah, he eats that book and then says, all right, now let's play my game. And he does have some opening theory with his own opener. And a lot of that is kind of based around chaos. And Nice needs to kind of figure out on the spot or ahead of time how he's going to play against this. And for now, I think Nice is doing okay. He is surviving. He's not dead. 7 minutes into the game against a player that usually only builds 2 or 3 queens in an entire game. That is usually a fairly good sign. He's teching into Colossus, which I also like, as Moo Micah now is rushing into a hive on what seems like 47 drones. Does get a cancel here on the third base. It's going to get locked in though with all of these links. And usually I'd say this is probably an okay-ish trade, but usually 7 minutes and 36 seconds into the game, Zerg also has 85 workers and 10 gases, so none of that really is the case at the moment. We don't even have an Evo chamber yet, I believe. Now, we do have an infestation pit, of course, for the hive. We have Hydra still being pumped out. There are 15 Hydras out in total already. I think if Nice were to move out right now, that would actually be a pretty big mistake. I don't think that would be smart. Nice is stacking quickly here into a Templar Archives, as well as killing a couple more workers. He's still up 11 workers, but he is being outmined due to the gold base and the nature of the gold, of course. It's just very slightly, though. Slight outmining here. It really isn't a huge difference. As this base now is being established, the moment Templar are out, I feel like that is... I don't want to say that is it, but that should be it. Like, there's no follow-up here possible because Moo Micah has no money. He has no upgrades. So the moment Storm gets in play, links are useless. Right now this army consists of 44 links, and Hydras are also practically useless. And then the Colossus come in and make it even more useless. First of all, what Moo Micah needs to do here is take out every single Oracle for free. That would be a good start. If he exited, like if you fly over, yeah, this is exactly what Moo Micah needs. Yeah, just like that. This is the start. I love this creep tumor. Look at this. This is creep threat. This is how people creep thread in like 2011. It's like little 3 queens in the entire game and 1 tumor. Then he just pushed it to the other side of the map. Watching the GSL 35-minute game, and there's like 2 lines like this, one to the top right, one to the top to the bottom left. And then Artosen and Tesla saying it's the greatest game ever. Crazy creep threat. Really mechanical player. You won't believe how good this guy is. Like, yeah. Yep, very good indeed. And Moo Micah here in 2023 still does the exact same thing. You'll have to see it. Did manage to climb up to a work count of 55, while the opponent is at 64. But with that gold, of course, still outmining, still just a little bit. Isn't even fully saturated here on this base. Doesn't have a Spore Eater to defend it, but as there's only only a single Oracle remaining, it might be fine. Oh, that Oracle also almost dies. Fourth base, I think, is going to be the key moment here for Moo Micah, where he'll probably want to start doing something. As he's going to scout it. Maybe he's going to scout it. Scouting it with a creature would be kind of big. It's barely going to miss it. That sucks. That would actually be an important moment. It's going to follow us up with an Ultra Cavern. I mean, who doesn't know the 32 drone Ling Rush into Hydra attack with a fake gold into 4th, 5th base, Viper Rush into Ultras. I also love that there are 21 Hydras, 115 links. We have the melee upgrade level 1, as well as Adrenal Glands. But these 21 Hydras have no attack upgrades whatsoever. They have no carapace. These links are going to disappear off the face of the earth in 2 seconds. This is going to be world's most one-sided fight, by the way. Like, the supplies look pretty good, but they aren't. Like, these storms are going to be insane. Like, these Templar fart in the direction of the links, and these links are going to fall over. This is not a fair fight. I think Nice has just won the game by doing nothing. And Moo Micah, despite constantly transitioning into new little all-ins, I think at the end of the day just hasn't been capable of really achieving what he wants. He's achieved nothing, so unless what he wants is nothing, then he's achieved exactly what he wants. He's just not going to be capable of doing anything here. The funny thing is that Moo Micah does have full map control. I guess it's not that weird if you have 54 workers and 136 army supply. There are still 111 links on the map. And the first 3 ultras are now popping out as the immortal transition has started here for Nice. This is actually such a sick playstyle. First carrier on the way as well as the final oracle finally does get taken out. 5 oracles have gone down. Okay, here we go with the Vipers. Can they do something? The dance here still is looking pretty tight. That's 2 storms there. That is 2 storms that won't be doing anything. Where's them ultras at? There's 3 ultras. Okay, they're on the right side. Hallucination just got taken out. There are 4 immortals, now 3 Tempest being thrown in there as well. There's not a single Baneling, so Zealots actually are pretty okay against all of this. Vipers haven't taken any damage. The resources lost is actually surprisingly low on both sides for how seemingly aggressive this game was going to be. I mean, I'd be shocked here if Moo Micah managed to win this game. Appalled even. I really would be. Alright, here comes the attack into the 3rd. Templars in position though. Yeah, that's scary. That's adios 50 links in 1.5 seconds if you're careful. Here comes another attack. No, also ain't happening. Yeah, at this point I feel like Nice can almost start attacking himself. We have this flank coming in with the links. Storms are available. Can we throw some nice zoning storms? Can we do that? No, we can't apparently. 71 workers to 57. Not a single run by has happened, by the way. Here we go with our first one. Upgrades also for Nice have been really crap. Just kind of interesting to see. And this one's just going to take out every single drone here. So Moo Micah F2's his entire army to deal with the 5 zealot run by. This is a game that Nice can play forever, you know. 3 zealots over here, 3 zealots to the left. And all of these drones did go down. 23 drones here in production as 7 spines start up. And there's a lot of cash in the bank here for Moo Micah. The funny thing is that he does actually have an okay bank. And he's getting some upgrades. He has map control, he has a lot of bases. Like, this is just a different way of getting into the late game. If Moo Micah were to give this situation to Serral, it would still look very bad, but like I could see something happening here, you know? Like, he got there just in a very different approach. He really just took a different approach. Now this base is gonna get cancelled. He always is so careful making sure that these links aren't too far forward. It almost feels like he's playing zoomed out at times, you know, with his army movement. It's really quite powerful. Hallucination comes in with a scout. These drones are still mining. I don't think I've ever seen Moo Micah play a proper late game. He's going to get a 3rd Evo chamber here. For the range upgrades, I reckon. He still has a bunch of Hydras now. Yeah, still has 21 Hydras without a single upgrade. Which just makes me so happy. I'd love to see a wall or 2. Like, it's just pure link. Like, walls would be sick to have, honestly. Also against the Ultras, they're brilliant. Okay, here comes an attack. Perhaps the attack. Perhaps the only attack that we're going to see this game. We get 1 abduct. And Moo Micah loses 20 supply. Practically instantly. So now he's gonna go for a base trade, but the army is right there. It's usually not quite how base trades work. It's got 3 worlds and a one-sided fight. Some of these Templars actually getting taken out. There's no more links really on the map. Larva count is non-existent, so we can't even max out currently. I don't think Nice lost a single supply. He's still maxed. He lost 4 supply. He lost 8 supply in this entire fight. And this is legitimately one of the worst. He recalls it to punish him in the main. Oh no. Buddy. This was a god-awful game, but oh, so good to watch. Oh, so good. GG gets called. Nice wins map number 1. How do you analyze this if you're Moo Micah? Like, at what part in the game do you go like, this was a mistake? And where do you go like, the strategy just is bad? You know, like, how far can you go with... Or, like, I'm not even sure if it's bad. Like, it's just very different, obviously. So I'm not entirely sure about the theory. But it seems clear to me that if the Protoss responds appropriately, that the Zerg really can't do very much. Because you're just stuck on pure Ling. Your Hydras have crap upgrades. Everything just sucks. Like... it's really difficult, I think, to improve if there's no one else that has already done it better. Like, when I don't understand the situation, I start messaging MaxWax on Discord. You know, it's like, hey, how do you beat this? He ignores me for 3 days and then responds to me because he's a nice guy. And then we figure it out together, you know? It's like, I'm not sure either, but maybe you and I, Harstem, if you put our brains together. But no one plays like Moo Micah, which makes it so freaking difficult to kind of get around these roadblocks that everyone finds when they're playing StarCraft, right? At every level. Like, sometimes you just don't understand what's happening. One of the most frustrating periods in my life was when I wasn't good enough yet to be at the high level. But you're pretty close. You're like maybe like rank 180 in Grandmasters. And there's a lot of people there that play their own completely idiotic style. And then I would play against it and I'd get beaten by their idiotic style. And I'd be like, well, how do I beat this? And I'd be watching pro games. And no one is playing this at the pro level. But at my level, everyone and their sister was playing, you know, their own little... Like, there would be freaking Zerg players that would be playing tunneling claw, what is it? The burrow roaches just the entire time. And then base trading into like freaking 12 base muta. And no one played this at the high level, so I had no clue how to fight this. I just was very confused all the time. It's like, well, what do I do against this? And I also didn't have very high-level friends, so I couldn't ask them either. You know, you ask someone in a Twitch, they'd be like, oh, that's terrible. I think no one plays it. I was like, no, this guy plays it. And so it's really hard to improve like that. It feels like, at least theory-wise, like you can still work on your mechanics and on your standard game as well. And eventually you build up that theory level, of course. But it's much easier if you can kind of build upon the knowledge of others. And this is something Moo Micah simply cannot do because no one else plays like he does, which makes it impressive that he gets the results that he does, but it also must be very frustrating for him if he loses series, because it's so hard to look at your own games and think to yourself, well, is my strategy just bad, or can I squeeze more water out of this already pretty dry stone? Stargate now on the way for nice once more. I think this is the correct call, although I've heard people talk about that if you're playing against Moo Micah, that playing 4-gate Glaives is actually a really good opener, simply because he often goes Ling into Hydra. Ling into Hydra is not great against 4-gate Glaives, because both of those units die really hard against Glaives, but then sometimes he'll figure it out and he'll get a little, he'll get a Roach War and then he'll Roach Rush you of like 36 drones, so then it might be hard. So, it's tricky, okay? He does have his little strategies against Glaive. So once again, we're seeing that fast second gas coming out of Moo Micah. And of course, one of the trademarks of his play is the fact that he plays with a very low queen count. Usually only getting a single queen per base. And most of the time using everything for injects except a single creep tumor. So that's what we're seeing right now. We have 37 drones, and I do believe that this is usually the timing that we see for a little bit of a Ling flood if he does want to go for that. We have an Overlord over here. We have an Overlord here on the bottom side as well. So I was thinking maybe a Nidus Worm. It's not quite the case. So all of this is just barely out of vision. The Phoenix is moving across the map. It's gonna try to kill an Overlord here. As we see, nice playing this kind of overly safe in a way, you know, into those extra gases. And honestly, I think Moo Micah's position, if he just drones up, is actually kind of fine. I don't think he's in a bad spot whatsoever. This Overseer, I don't think is going to finish up. This Queen is going to die. I'm not sure why it was out all the way over here, maybe trying to keep that Overlord alive. That didn't quite work out. Second Oracle now coming in, Blind Robo as well being produced. Nice is definitely pooping his pants at the moment. He's playing too safe. He really is playing too safe. But then again, Moo Micah is building Hydras on 38 workers. Maybe there's no such thing as being too safe against good old Moo Micah. Overseer is being produced here, still on 38 workers. We have a bunch of links out. Sees the lack of a third base. I wonder if he just builds a round of drones now? This must feel very awkward here. Yeah, I'd say drones is actually the correct call. He has 3 queens total. I'd love to see a Spore over here as well, because this was really risky. There's 3 oracles out. They pay a visit to the third base. Your queen is gonzo. I guess you have some Hydras to help out. Now Twilight. How many gates are we even on? 4, 6 gate, Twilight, Immortal. I'm not even sure if this is good save or if this is like bad save. You know, it's like does this even really work? I don't actually think it does. I really don't think it does. Your eco is going to suck too much, while your opponent can just drone up. So Moo Micah here, just by being him, is kind of getting in his opponent's head. Well, last game I thought the way that Nice played was kind of nice. Although back then Moo Micah also had a completely non-viable turf, so it was a fairly different game. Robobay on the way, all of this was of 2 base still. Nice actually pooping his pants. I played against Moo Micah. It was last year in Valencia. I also lost to him. I played him twice. I lost in the first series and won in the second series. In the second series, I played Void Ray Disruptor every game. Because nothing he does can beat that, I think. Because it's so safe. You're just playing 2 base double Stargate, I think is what it is. And then I just went Disruptors. And he's not so good with the micro against Disruptors. He tried to go Vipers, but it didn't quite work out. Here we see a very fast tech into Hive once more. And this time I feel like Nice's position is significantly worse. He has lower worker count. He will not be capable of teching straight into Templar Archive here. I'm also just surprised to see this rush into Colossus. I feel like Storm is just such a game ender against Moo Micah. Yeah, someone that just built pure Ling Hydra. We now have this Evo Chamber coming in, so he does seem to kind of be following a similar path as last game. But it's not the exact same path, because it feels better at least. Maybe it's just Nice who is kind of messing this up. It's weird how little fighting we've seen. But I guess that is how Nice wants it to be played out here. Passive, nothing happening. Forward base on the way for Moo Micah. Ooh, this is also something he does, is he just expands to a lot of bases and then stays on an insanely low drone count. I feel like this is kind of to trick the opponent. And it really gets the opponent very often as well. The Vipers now start 7 minutes and 45 seconds into the game. The funny thing is that I recall him playing some Hydra Lins, which were basically Ling Floods, and then he'd use like 5 or 6 Hydras to clear the Oracles. That was it. Which is kind of a cool way of doing things, I guess. Seeing +1 melee. We're gonna see Adrenal start soon as well, I can only imagine. Yep, there we go. The creep spread's actually quite good for a single tumor spread. This is an insane move out here by Nice. It's working, kind of. Oh, nice force fields. Nice. Perhaps if there was a flank though, or if these Vipers had any energy and were moving forward, that could have been extremely bad there. This is so risky. Like crazy risky here by Nice. I don't like that. I really don't. No, I think that was a mistake. Although it worked out now, I really think that carried way too much risk. Ultra Cavern on the way. Yes. So, okay, if you give this position to Serral, Serral's winning uber hard. Like, he's so far ahead at this point, right? And you build 20 drones with your next 2 waves of larva, and there's no way you're going to lose this game. I just don't see it happen. No way, Jose. Ain't happening, son. Double Vipers moving in forward right now. With the 98 Lings as well as the 13 Hydras. This is a fight there. Maybe I see some potential. There are a couple of Storms available, like 4 perhaps. But you also need the feedback, which is an issue. Okay, here comes 1 Colossus, here come 2 Colossus. Storms now being used fairly late. Super battery active as well. The Hydras pushing forward. That was still a pretty bad fight here for Moo Micah. Yeah, that was really god-awful for him. I think he was up like 20 or 30 or 40 supply. Now he's even. I think if you're Nice in this case, you probably want to just take a fort base and take it slow. Like you're playing against someone on 59 workers. Nice is not aware of that. If he continues moving out on the map, he could be in some trouble. If he just takes a fort base, I don't think he can be in trouble. Building a Colossus is definitely the incorrect call, because his opponent right now already transitioning into these Ultralisk. 4 Hydras, 5 drones on the way out, and 3 Ultras popping soon as well. Ooh, Lynx wanted to go for a little run by here. Instead, we'll catch these Zealots, as well as this fort base. Usually you see the topside fort base. I'm surprised to see this one out in the open. No cancel. It's actually kind of sloppy. Blink gets researched, which I'm fairly confused by as well. This is being played off 4 gas, by the way. So there's no possibility, simply, that there's going to be any type of Muta transition, or a Broodlord transition, or a Lurker transition for that matter. You're simply lacking gas. And it means that if you can't get any of these units, is that the Immortal beats everything. Immortal Storm is the end game then. Like, you don't need to go any further. There's nothing else that Zerg can do that could potentially take you out. So yeah, I think the spot here that Nice is in is almost unlosable at this point once more, which saddens me a little bit. I like seeing some aggressive, creative play, but yeah, it does seem to me like Nice is just straight up gonna win this. Sad. That's really quite sad. I don't like that. Okay, get the move in over here. Might still have a couple of abducts in us as these links are trying their best to pick stuff up. 2 more ultras coming out. Maybe. Like the immortal count is too low though. Like you hit 1 fat blinding cloud. You come with a flank. Like 4 more ultras. You have 8 ultras in that case. 8 versus 4 immortals would still be a good fight, you know? Maybe it's possible. Okay, I'm starting to believe a little bit again. This is a nice rotation at least. I like that. That also opens up this area for a potential flank later on. And that is important. That is real important. Storm misses. Awful, awful Storm. These are good. These are real good as all these ultras are falling. But a bunch of zealots did go down. Here comes a flank. Maybe it's possible. We still have blinding clouds available. Moo Micah setting it up. Is he setting it up? Can he set it up? Maybe a couple of abducts here. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Take your Archons and come with me, because you look so fine, and I really want to make you mine. Ultra count still at 5. I think the key targets here should be Immortals. Although if you get a couple of Archons, there's no tanking whatsoever. Maybe it's still viable. The complete lack of Banelings does continue to kind of surprise me. But it is working out. Double Viper still getting some energy, 180 supply to 156. This base is a real issue, because if you're playing 8 gas as a TOS against 4 gas as a Zerg, eventually the TOS army is just going to be too gas intense, going to be too powerful. This is a nice run by Doe. This is going to deal some serious damage. And here come the Immortals. Hello, sir. That's 1, 2, and then a Colossus in there as well. Not the greatest fight, as I think he needs to pull back. But this third base is looking like toast right now. Pylon's gonna get taken out. Link's dealing a lot of damage. Ah, man, if he literally just builds 1 round of drones here, Moo Micah's in such a sick position. If he has if he's doing this of 78 workers rather than 65 the entire time, he'd have a gas bank. He'd have a lot of crap in the bank in general. He'd be looking good. Right now, it doesn't really have very much. Goes for a base trade here with 2 ultras. Link's coming in clean as well. Oh, Link's over here almost get caught, but we'll reroute them back towards the top. Beautiful movement here coming out of Moo Micah. He's almost choked there on a bit of oxygen. Ultras taking out these Archons. I think he's actually doing it. Gets us around on the middle of the map. Pure chaos here in this game. As Moo Micah takes a 60 supply lead. And I should have been a believer from the start. You never give up hope on this guy. You never give up on this guy. That is unbelievable. Fantastic, actually fantastic movement. Good movement here. Nice, just a little bit too keen to move out. He's afraid of something that isn't happening. He wants to make a kill move because he's afraid that, oh, maybe there's going to be like Infestor or Lurker or there's going to be Broodlord. But none of these things are happening. You're playing against the 70 drone Zerg. That's on 4 gases. Like, he's happy if he can fit in another Ultra list. Like, that is how poor he is right now. And Moo Micah, he needed that fight. He got that fight. He got the damage into the bases. Now, I mean, it's an open door policy over here at the nicest base. It's not quite what you want. Oh, these guys are being let in, and 9 workers go down once more. Base is going to get killed. And I thought it was maybe something special, just an Overlord. No reason for me to click it then. The Prism now, finally some counterattacks happening. We haven't seen this all game yet either. Moo Micah has always been on the offensive. Now finally needs to defend a little bit, but it's looking dire here for our men. Nice. 114 supply, half the army supply. Does have a couple of Templar remaining, but he needs static defense. He needs Templar at these outside bases as well. This is just a fact. This is an absolute fact. You need Templar at these outside bases in order to defend yourself against link run buys. Usually also in order to deal with Banes, but as Moo Micah doesn't have a hotkey for the Bane, it's not quite necessary. This is most likely going to be the final fight of the game as Storms hit, but do not kill. And these ultras, they are here to kill. So one more abduct will take one of these archons into the masses of links and ultras. And that is going to be it for this game, as Moo Micah ties up this series 1-1. Alright, this time around we did have a hatch first coming out of Moo Micah. No block coming out of Knight, which honestly makes a lot of sense. You don't really want to block someone that usually plays pool first and that has a lot of cheeses up his sleeve. You kind of want to play it safe. Gate Scout is completely fine. Once again, coming out with a Stargate is nice. I think he's going to switch it up. You know what's funny? Is how scary it is to play against people like Moo Micah, because you know you really shouldn't be losing, but here you are, 1-1. You have no clue what else he's capable of. Well, you kind of know what he's capable of, and this is the phase where you start imagining things. Like you start ascribing godlike qualities to your opponent. Like you scout your opponent mining gas, and it's like, ooh, this is a roach link that's gonna hit in 10 seconds. And you throw down a battery in your wall, you know, because you're not entirely sure. It's like, oh, what if speed finishes right now? So you decide not to scout. Like, it's this type of stuff that ends up getting you usually. It is that type of stuff, and I'm very afraid for Nice. I've been in this situation many times against players that all they can do is cheese, and it can freaking suck, let me tell you that much. It will freaking suck. This Oracle here is being chrono boosted out. We have a gateway in the wall. These two bad boys now moving out. Cool to see. Speed has finished up. These adepts might actually get some kills here. You know what's so scary though? Is the moment you lose these two adepts, taking a third base is practically a suicide, you know? Against someone that likes the link flood anyway. So yeah, I kind of like it, but at the same time, was this worth it? You're gonna kill what? One worker? Kills one worker, loses two adept. Now here comes the Oracle. Maybe still kill another drone. It's taking a lot of damage here though. Oh no, this is how it all goes wrong. And now you're hitting yourself and oh, why did I throw away these two adept? Starting to poop yourself a little bit. Double gas. This is so funny to see as well. But why is he morphing this right in vision of the Python? This is the opposite of brilliant. Oh no. What is this? Did he want to make it? I think he wanted to build an overseer. Yeah. Poor Moo Micah. Poor guy. Yes. You wish that upon no one. Wrong hotkey there. This is a little bit of a wrong hotkey. I love that he's scouting as well. Like he's not just going to rush into Hydra Link. Like there's another plan here, you know. There's something bigger waiting on the other side of the door. We know that's not the case. Loses a queen here. Has a single queen out right now against 3 oracles. That is often considered a non-viable position to be in. As Twilight here is being added on, as well as a forge. Once again, just playing full on 2-base. He's actually so scared. If all of these links would be drones, this would be such a good spot for Moo Micah. But again, if all of these links would be drones, he wouldn't be Moo Micah, right? The reason why Nice is playing like this is because he knows there's going to be links every single time. He knows there's 6, 7, 8 Hydras popping out right now. Now these links are gonna come back home and we'll deal with this adept threat. At least I think it will deal with it. Hydra's gonna show up as well. That means the end of Oracle superiority here. A couple more drones will get targeted down. Now the question that I have is he actually going to commit here to the Hydra link push? Yes is the answer, I believe. I believe the answer here is yes. He is going to commit to a Hydra link push of 38 workers. Nice now is scouting the complete lack of drones here on the third and says, hey, 1 drone on the third, is that enough for me to try and take a third base? Meh. Maybe? I don't think so. I mean, oh, this is a fake drone transfer. Look at this. Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute. Because here, well, this got spotted, but here, if you scout this right now, it's like, wait, he's mining with like freaking 8 workers from this base. You're starting to sweat a little bit, you know? You're starting to sweat a little bit. No, don't go! He's about to take a third! Maybe it's... Nah, I mean, this is a terrible call. The bait worked. Look, he was looking for it. He was ready to get it, man. Oh, you should have been a bit more patient. Oh, Moo Micah. I mean, a blind man could have seen this coming. having to take out a gateway that's being repaired by a super battery while you're practically 2-base all-inning into a 2-base toss. That is what we call a non-optimal situation to be in. This is so far out, by the way. Oh, this is scary. There's still a battery here. He needs to wait for that Colossus before he can really move. Like, he's pooping himself right now, let me tell you that. There's a Veiling Nest, okay. So you do have a Veiling Nest on the way. We're mining off of 2.5 gas. 2/3. This OV is gonna get taken out. That's painful because Moo Micah is very tight in his Overlord production. He's taking out some of these rocks right now for a more streamlined reinforcement process. Very cool. I feel like these rocks might have been better to take out, but then again, who am I, the backseat? Who am I, the backseat? As the first Colossus is out, Thermal Lance is on the way as well. And once Thermal finishes, this game is completely over. 48 workers to 32. 1900 minerals to 1500. Despite it being 2-base versus 3-base in favor of the Zerg. Here comes the scouting at depth. Sees the Veilings are being worked. 20 veins on the way. So although the army supply is close, the Veilings might give this army a bit more punch. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. That's a lot of links that went down there. And 2 oracles will fall. I think there's still enough sentry energy though. Yeah, these veins are just going down at a high pace. Super battery will activate. Zealots need to be careful though. Should not be charging into those Banelings quite yet, but at this point it is absolutely over. Right? 49 workers to 32. We see 3 drones in production, but it's double Colossus. Yeah, there we go. GG gets called as Nice picks up the series. I really believe that Nice... I think he bought it. I really believe he bought it. Well, what time was that in game? Like 7? 6:18? I think... I think... Nice. Look. Here he sees it. And he's like, oh, that's bad. I really think he was planning on moving out. Because even if he sees a large army there, he also sees 6 drones. So in your mind, because you're thinking in standard portions, or in standard, like, standard units, basically. You're like, okay, 16 workers here. You see these gases, most likely saturated. This one's saturated. 16 up here. So it's like 32, 41 workers here, plus 6 over here. It's like, well, that's a lot of workers. You know, there's more workers than he has, and it's an extra base. So if then another round of drones pops out, imagine Moo Micah goes to like 60 drones versus 46 of Nice. Nice is just in so much trouble. So Nice here is sweating like mad. I actually think here, if Moo Micah is going to watch this replay, he'll be like, I should have waited. I think Nice bought it. Now, like he's a fish, and he was right there on the hook. Moo Micah, he felt it pull and was like, I don't think I have the power anymore, but he did. Should have waited a little bit longer. Patience, my dear friend. It's a virtue. All right, well, that's going to be it. Entertaining little series, at least, to have seen here between Moo Micah and Nice. I hope you did all enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.